Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Salami, and today we are doing a follow-up on Descendant here. I've got a couple of tips, a performance suggestion, and my general thoughts on the game after putting in about 15 hours. So we'll start off with the easy one first, which is in my last video, which I'll have linked below. Performance was okay, and then I found it degraded as we got further into the game. But I have changed my Proton layer from the base, whatever valve is currently, whatever number valve is on, and I've put it on the GE Proton 9.9. And that's the footage you're seeing behind you is all on that new Proton, GE Proton 9.9, and it seems to be running a lot better at locked 30. I think it's running a lot better. I've still got TSR on quality, and I think I've got textures on medium, and I think I've got anti-aliasing on like high, and it seems to be coming out, everything else on low, and it seems to be coming out, I think, quite well. You let me know in the comments if you think that it's smoother than it was before, and these seem to be higher octane events that are happening, and it seems to be holding that 30 a lot better. My other recommendation is I was using the in-game 30 frame rate cap, but I'm finding just using the Steam one in the Steam OS and putting it unlimited in-game is better. It feels smoother to me. You do gain a small amount of input lag by using the Steam frame rate cap, but it feels, in my personal opinion, it feels better. You can test this and tell me what you think is feeling better by using either the 30 cap in game or the Steam Deck 30 cap. So that's my first little bit of advice. Is I think performance is doing much better on the GE Proton layer, and if you're not sure how to install that and you've come here, check out this video I have done on some great things to have in your Steam Deck. I'll have a link to it in the description below, and that I show you in that video how to install Proton GE layers, and that will get you away laughing. I also am using cryo utilities. Again, I don't know whether that's making any difference, so I don't know if that's actually adding or taking away anything, so something to keep in mind. And if you're finding this video helpful, give us a like, give us a sub, and if you're not, then you don't. Easy as that. Right, so moving on to a couple of tips that I've got, and these tips are for people like me. If you're in my age group, mid-30s, and gaming time isn't as massive as some of these other people, just have fun with this. Like, I'm just putting in a few hours every night and just doing the questing and killing some monsters and upgrading my gear a wee bit and having a bit of fun with it. That's a bit of a weird tip, isn't it? But honestly, I keep seeing videos popping up that are like super meta stuff, and it's just like, it's not worth it. Just play the game. Again, that's because I don't have the time to get too deep into the meta. But the two major things I've noticed is when you're doing your upgrades for your Descendant, like your modules and your Descendant mods, make sure you're doing as many that are health and defense related, and that's just going to make you way more survivable. And if you haven't jumped in yet, another recommendation is I would go Ajax. I haven't played Ajax myself, so take that with a grain of salt, but I'm playing Lyric or whatever, the grenade guy. He's okay, but he's definitely not as tanky from what Ajax is, I think if you're playing solo like a lot of us are going to be doing, Ajax is definitely a way better choice for that. Some of the footage you're seeing here is from a dungeon that you do. Every time you finish a zone, it ends with like a story dungeon, and already, surprisingly, this dungeon I could not find a party, so it just dropped me in solo, so I had to do it solo. And The final boss, I died on about 5 times, and I had like 3 attempts left, so I just got him down doing it solo, and I was thinking to myself the whole time, if I was playing Ajax here, I probably would have been tanky enough to do this 2 times earlier, you know? So if you're thinking about jumping in, go for the tanky starting hero. If you're gonna, if solo is gonna be your go-to, because you know, at these lower levels, and it depends how hard you're grinding materials to upgrade, right? Like, I'm not upgrading all the time, so I'm finding I might be, you know, taking a little bit more damage than I probably should. So my thoughts going forward on this game are, I'm going to keep playing it. The Steam mixed reviews are strange. Like, I get it. Like, it is monetized to how high. You've got long wait times for modifications, and it is repetitive in a sense. And like, I get all of it, but it's actually kind of fun to play for something mindless. You know what I mean? It's a good in-between game. You don't have to take it too seriously, and you can just play it. I mean, I guess for a lot of people that would already be Warframe. Like, if you're already deep into Warframe, I don't think there's a point in you jumping into this one. I think Warframe would be a better place to stay. But if you've not got that free-to-play looter shooter, then this is, you know, it costs you nothing to get in, and it costs you nothing to get out. So the mixed reviews, in some regards, makes sense, and in other regards, it's like, well, it's cost you nothing. Like, it doesn't matter, all right? Like, just gotta play it. I'm gonna keep playing it because I am enjoying it, and you know, I'm not hitting the hard grind yet, so I'm not too sure. Maybe my thoughts on this game will change when I start getting to the grinds that are not fun, specifically like for grinding out more Descendants, because they give you Bunny pretty early on, pretty easily. But I want Ajax, or I want a tankier Descendant, and I'm starting to wonder like how far through the main story I need to get before I can get to those, and how long is it actually going to take. I started doing some of the void fragments in the 3rd zone. You might see some of that footage behind you, where you've got to blow up the invulnerable towers, and then it gives you like some void fragments that you need like 10 or 30 of to like use the little computer console to like open a big void fragment like teleport thing. And because I was going to do that as like, you know, for a grind for it, and I was like, I got 2, like you get 1 fragment per run, and I was like, this would be okay if I had a group of people, but doing this solo, I'm going to have to do this 30 times. I was like, no, we'll just continue on with the main story, and maybe come back when I'm higher level and I can kill the monsters a bit faster. And because all of the bonus XP and gold and all that comes to an end, I think tonight or tomorrow, it's like, if I get through more of the main story, I can rank up a bit more and get a little bit more done. So, you know, without rambling too much about this, unless you want to hear me ramble, I think First Descendant on Steam Deck is actually quite a good little game to play if you want something to jam. Of course, everyone's going to say, oh, you could play Warframe, or you could play Destiny. Well, you can't play Destiny unless you're on Windows. But, you know, like, why not? Just play it. So without further ado, have a great day, guys. That's my little pre-ramble. I think you should, you know, you're either in or you're out. I don't know about the mixed reviews. I think that's a bit frustrating. I did watch Force Gaming and his thoughts on it, and he was like in between, you know, like the things he didn't like and the things he liked. But again, if you're playing it casually like I am, I think you don't notice those problems quite as much because you're not spending as much time with the game. So that repetitiveness, while it's there, it's not so bad because I'm only playing for 2 hours, an hour a day. So it's not like a massive chunk of time where I've played it for 8 hours straight. So yeah, I think people forget that like a lot of us older people don't have that massive time period to play, so we don't notice that problem quite the same way as someone who's trying to min-max within the first 48 hours of release. So without further ado, have a great day, guys, for my little video here on First Descendant. I'm thinking it's running a lot better now. I'm much happier with the performance here, as you can see from this footage. And without further ado, we may have another First Descendant video where I go a little bit more in depth on navigating the menus and that, for people like me who are like bewildered by how much stuff is in these free-to-play games. Like, there's just pages of stuff. I'm like, what is this, and how does that work, and how do you do this, and it just never ends. So maybe we'll do that. And if you're like me and you're like just doing it and you're like, wow, there's a lot of crap here, let me know and I can go in there and kind of explain some of the menus. But you know what, we'll just leave it there. All right guys, catch us later.